Hi, this is Graphically Alex coming at you with all things fat related. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. So today I wanted to do a bonus video this week. I want to do it at least probably the next couple weeks to catch up since I was struggling a lot earlier in the month. So today I wanted to just react to another Reddit video. It looks like this channel is not updating anymore, which is kind of sad because I feel like it's kind of an interesting channel. But I want to go ahead and react to some of what they say on this "R lose it" thing because it has to do with, I guess, losing weight from a major place, and I want to see what has resonated with me, what hasn't, and just kind of react. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of r/lose it. My name is George, and today's topic is what they don't tell you when you start a major weight loss plan. So far, I've shed 125 pounds since July 2016, and I'm about 180 pounds, give or take 2 pounds, which is water weight fluctuations. I have about 30 pounds to go to my target weight, and I'm taking a break and doing maintenance for a while. I learned that there are things that they don't tell you. They say you'll be healthier, you'll have more energy, you'll look better and feel better. They don't talk about the downside of weight loss.
So that's something that I have struggled a lot in terms of weight loss content online. I try to do the exact opposite on this channel. I try to talk a lot about negatives, and as I say many times, I'm the midnight rain of weight loss. So I talk about those like hidden emotional factors in weight loss as well as negatives. And, I'm also very introverted. So I feel like that kind of all goes together. So I tried to create this channel in opposition to that, not because it's bad to be positive or sunshiny. I don't think that that's wrong. I just think that it's heavily represented in the weight loss space and as far as like anti-FA and stuff like that. And so I wanted to definitely provide a counterbalance. So I appreciate the negatives too, because it's good to know what's coming. What I will always say is that weight loss is not necessarily without any cost, but it is worth it, especially if you're coming from a super morbidly obese place. Obviously, I will say any type of obesity. It is good to lose weight if you are obese. So anyways, let's go ahead and see.
1. Your hair may fall out. It's called telogen effluvium. If you lose weight fast enough, the body goes into panic mode and shuts down unnecessary functions. One of these is hair growth. So when you lose those 100 hairs per day, normal hair cycle, they don't grow back until your weight is stabilized for about 4 months. I lost so much of my hair that it ended up looking thin and scraggly. I cut it short, pixie. Now it's just starting to grow back, and I'm keeping it short until the new baby hairs reach the length of my longer hair sections. Perhaps next autumn.
So I will say I have experienced that definitely. However, as you can see, my hair is thinner. It's thinner all throughout. I have two issues. I am losing weight for one. So the actual weight loss does cause hair thinning. And as I talk about all the time on this channel, I have hypothyroidism. And that is also a symptom of hypothyroidism, is you experience hair loss or hair thinning. So I expect both of those factors to improve or go away as I am done losing weight, probably around next year. So I'm not worried about it as far as long term, but it is kind of ugly. I'm not going to lie. Like, you're not necessarily going to be a beauty queen all throughout a massive amount of weight loss. It's just not really the case. I will agree with that. So let's see what this one is.
2. Clothing budgets get expensive as you change sizes, and you're going to have to give up pretty much everything you love. I found I can go down about 3 sizes before clothes get ridiculous and can no longer be altered. I started at 26, 28 and had a very expensive office work wardrobe I spent a decade assembling. I loved those clothes. When I finally gave up on wearing these favorites and went shopping, my new size was a snug 20. I also learned that when a person normally shops for clothing, you buy one or maybe two of each item, stuff that really speaks to you, and you love everything you buy. They become new favorites.
So what I will say is I dress in Walmart chic. Okay. I also thrift. But um me and Eric, we call George Jorge, and it's very fancy. If you guys know, if you know, it's really trendy. It's like really on point. But I will say that thrifting has saved my life a few times. Like I went to a wedding last year and I thrifted a shirt because I was a huge, huge, huge. That's all I will say. For the wedding, it was like, and I was so moony at the time, which you guys can see videos from March 2023. And I have a picture on my Instagram if you want to see how big I was. But that shirt I was wearing, it was like a 4X. I had like no money, and it saved me because I was able to buy a dress shirt. So, I mean, thrifting is like, I think it's really nice when you're losing weight because a lot of the stuff, it's not forever. So I would not personally buy like really, really expensive clothes as you're losing weight unless if you have money like that. And if you do, then whatever. I don't have any judgment on it. But I tend to donate as I get low enough. And then I will, like, there are certain things I've saved just so I can see like how fat I was kind of thing for sentimental reasons. But I do get rid of clothes eventually. Like I don't have anything that's a 4X anymore. I only wear 3X and 2X, which this is actually a 3X and it's very big now. So I don't really wear this out. This is more of like a chill lounging type of shirt, which I'm wearing in this chill video. But yeah, so anyways, that's what I would suggest if you are, financially challenged. I will say thrifting is good. Hand-me-downs, a lot of times other people are losing weight sometimes. Like I have had Eric give me a lot of clothes because he lost weight and he just purged like tons of jeans and stuff like years ago. This is like back in like forever ago, but I saved everything. I even have some clothes. I went on like a trip to Hawaii in 2008 and I had these shorts and I just saved them forever because I was like, one day I will get into those shorts. And I actually did. So I actually fit in them, which that was weird. But, so yeah. As I cycle through things, I do get rid of them, but I haven't really gotten rid of much. But when you're coming from like 3X, 2X, 4X, like those sizes, they don't change very much. But I'm finding I had to buy 1X shorts at Walmart this year. And I think I low-key already might fit in a large. So it is starting to go faster. But those shorts at Walmart, they're not expensive. They're like $5 or something. So that's what I would suggest. And then just donate if you can. Like if they're not too damaged. I know sometimes when you're really obese, the clothes gets damaged. But if they're not, then just, that's what I do. I donate them after. And then the other thing is, I don't damage my clothes as much now, too. When I was like at my highest, I went through clothes so much. Like I would damage them, especially pants. It was just horrible. And I haven't had that same issue in a very long time. So anyways, let's continue.
But when you're trying to replace a whole wardrobe, weight loss, fire, other damage or loss, you end up with the same basic items in 5 colors each, with little variations because all the stores carry essentially the same colors each year, so the variation is further reduced. Last year, the whole world was burgundy, and so was I. And seasonal. Everything I own is for a single reason. I have a whole closet of winter sweaters and mock turtlenecks and nothing for summer, because last summer I was in a 20XL. Now I'm a 14M.
That's true. But that's kind of typical. But I guess people just don't think about that aspect. But yeah, I mean, your clothes have to evolve with you. And I don't think that's a reason not to lose weight. Like, I'm going to just be honest. I think that that's like very superficial to even consider not losing weight because of that. But I will say that it is a factor. I'm not very attached to the clothes I have. I don't really care that much. I don't have tons and tons of nice things, but I understand that it is a thing because I have gone through it. But yeah, I'm not going to buy really nice stuff until I've reached the end. So, yeah. I know that's not a very FA approach, but if you have the money, then just buy it as you go. That's how I would say it. Because you could do a positive, I'm not a sunshine person, but you could do a positive spin on it and say, hey, well, it gives me a reason to buy something as I'm losing too. So depending on how much money you have, it could be, you could kind of spin it that way. If you don't have a lot of money, then maybe you're not as attached to your clothes or they're not even really that nice. So I can understand that. But anyways, that's my opinion, I guess.
For the same reason, I learned to sew. While I can
So
alter a shirt or pants skirt 1 or 2 sizes down, 3 sizes was too much and the overall cut looks weird. Taking in waistbands, altering armholes, shoulder straps, button location.
that's pretty cool though, to be able to alter 2 sizes down. That's pretty awesome. I think that's great. I would love to make my own clothes. I would love it. Like, you guys know I'm a knitter, but I haven't really ever done sewing whatsoever. It's like really intimidating to me, but I would love to do it. If I ever have the time, I probably will learn because I think it is so amazing to be able to make your own clothes. It's such like a practical skill. It's so artistic. It's just beautiful. Like, I've seen so many people that are so amazing at it. I would love to do it, honestly. But that's a project for another day. But don't be surprised if I end up sewing one day. I would love to. But yeah, I probably would want to take a class or something just to start with to get the basics. But I love knitting. So if it's anything similar, like I love wearing my pieces and stuff, like I would just love it. So I'm kind of jealous. I'm jealous. But anyways, I would definitely love to sew.
And seams is a skill I always had. Now I'm a lot better at it due to practice. Even jewelry fits differently. When you wear a necklace and you like the pendant to fall in a certain place in your chest, you're going to need a shorter chain. The 16-inch chain that used to put the pendant just below the hollow of my throat is now halfway down to my chest. Rings will need to be resized. I went from a size 11 ring to a current 7.5 ring. Some rings can't be resized that much without damage to the design.
Wow.
Shoes too. I had no idea feet shrink with weight loss. 3. You're going to lose friends.
Yeah, I've had that. So I have had, my feet have shrunk a little bit, and that is a trip because I've reached a significant amount. Like you guys know, I've lost 100 pounds. So I'm starting to have those like kind of drastic differences, but I can still fit into my shoes just fine. But I think probably the next time I get shoes, I'm going to have to probably try it on, because I have like these sandals and I got them towards the beginning of 2023. And I had never tightened them. Like, they're kind of like Velcro sandals, and I had never tightened them for the whole time. And I had to recently because I was like, oh my gosh, they're like falling off of me. I can't even walk in them anymore. So it's very subtle. But actually, weirdly enough, my feet is like one of the first places I lost weight too. So, but I haven't officially gone down a size. I'll let you guys know if that happens, but it hasn't happened yet. It's a trip.
Especially those who are also overweight or obese. It's their own insecurity. I get the questions, did you get bariatric surgery, frequently. And when I tell them I use CICO and explain strict calorie tracking, strict calorie limits in exercise, and 3 to 5 times weekly cardio workouts, the response is similar from both friends and strangers. Usually a withering look, as if I somehow betrayed them. And sometimes they tell me how counting calories is dangerous, and they'd never do that. They congratulate me on my achievement. Then they begin to ignore my existence. Somehow it triggers passive-aggressive responses even in non-passive-aggressive people.
So this one I haven't had happen. I haven't lost any friends losing weight. I don't think so. Certainly, like, it has nothing to do with the weight loss. I mean, you gain and lose friends at times, but it's pretty, things are kind of stable. I will say what was more significant, which I talk about it enough. I'm kind of getting sick of talking about it, but I have to for the sake of the channel. What was more significant was the breakup. I do think there was an element of weight loss playing a role, which is kind of insane when I think about it. And I just can't even, I'm not even going to dive into that, but I will admit that happened. And so that did happen. And that is horrifying to me in a sense. I mean, I'm glad that, whatever. It is what it is. It's fine, but I find that if you have very strong friendships, and I actually do have a lot of friends especially for an introvert, like I have a lot of friends for an introvert and I haven't lost any. So I think it just really depends. And it also depends on your attitude with weight loss too. Like, but to be fair, I don't have any friends that are into fat activism. I don't really have anybody in my life that is into that, like zero. So I could see me not being able to have friends if they were fat activists, because it's just so clownishly ridiculous. And my whole channel and like everything I do at this point is in opposition. So yeah, but I don't have anybody in my life that is anywhere near a shade of fat acceptance. So yeah, I think that might also be why I haven't lost friends, because I don't really have anybody in my life that is like that. So it depends, I guess.
4. People won't recognize you. I was a well-known person in my community before I lost weight due to a very publicly visible job. I quit that job just before my weight loss began, and now no one recognizes me. Not just the man on the street kind of lack of recognition, but the last time I went into my old office, the people whom I worked with for 5 years straight up had no idea who I was. As soon as I realized they had no clue, I spent several minutes giving hints as to who I was. I even told them I worked right there, that was my desk. This weekend, I went to a picnic social and saw someone there who observed my work for several years, and I commented on the work I did during a conversation. No, I know that person. It was X. X did that. No matter how much I insist that I am that person, she wouldn't believe me. Finally, I had to pull out a comparison picture I kept on my phone and my ID to prove my identity. It's both funny and annoying. 5.
That's funny. I don't know if okay. This is where I'm going to claim introvert privilege, because I would not give a flying F. I don't really want to cuss in this video. I would not give a flying F whatsoever. Like if it was somebody who's just like very, very casual, like acquaintance, and would forget who I was because I lost weight, I literally would not care whatsoever. Not even a little bit. But I think too, people don't tend to remember you if you don't have like a personal relationship with them, if you were never friends, if you were never close, like if you never had any of those types of dynamics. That kind of stuff is really like important too, and being remembered, if that makes any sense. Like my coworkers from my abusive job, I had friends that would obviously, in my opinion, obviously remember me. But just casual people that I worked with from time to time, I don't think they would remember me. And honestly, I wouldn't want them to. But like I said, that's introvert privilege. It wouldn't bother me.
It's going to hurt. No, not the dieting, though my sometimes growling stomach may disagree, but new pressure in new places. The extra padding over bones is gone. I can't sit on a wooden kitchen chair without a thick pad, or it hurts my ischium, lower butt bones. I can't sleep on my side without a pillow between my knees to cushion the bones. Sometimes one knee will knock into the other during normal movements, and it hurts. 6.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I haven't reached that point yet for that stuff to be a concern because I'm still morbidly obese. So I will have to keep you guys posted on that. I think for me, it's just sometimes at this point, I look at my body and it's like, especially like when I look kind of towards like my abs and pelvis and that type of area, I'm just like, it looks so different to me now. And I'm just like, whoa, this is weird, not in a bad way or anything. It's fine. But it's like, I haven't had a normal body in forever. So it's like when you start approaching a normal body in certain aspects where it's like things look more typical, it's like, I've never seen that before. It's like a weird feeling. I don't think that would apply to everybody, but to me, that's been weirder for me is stuff like that. But as you guys know, I practice body neutrality, and I don't constantly examine my body all the time. So it's like sometimes I will notice things occasionally that have changed, but I'm usually okay with it, at this point. So, but I would just say that kind of thing is weird. Praise from, okay.
Praise from friends, family, or even strangers can feel bad, and that's okay. When people praise your efforts, not only are they saying they're noticing your efforts and changes in your body, but it can also feel like they're commenting on how bad you looked before, even if they never said anything when you were at your high weight. And
I will say too, this person mentioned being really hungry. There are times when I experience hunger, but as I said, if it's above a 4, or if it's like a 4 or higher, I will eat something. I don't just suffer in hunger. I don't believe in that. It has to be physical hunger, though. I do not believe in emotional eating whatsoever. So that's a no. Which, by the way, I got in an argument with some FABS BED recovery person who was saying it was okay to emotionally eat. And I didn't go off on her, but I told her she doesn't know anything of what she's talking about, and it's very obvious. So I basically said that, and she didn't have anything to say after that, but she just gave a thumbs up. But I wasn't gonna just let that go. So I was like, ooh. So I said something because I was like, you're totally wrong. But yeah, I wouldn't advise just suffering and hunger. I don't really agree with that. The other aspects are like the type of diet I eat is a prothyroid diet, so it very much manages hunger. So, I'm not afraid of saturated fat, for example. It's very satiating. I eat meat every day. I have carbs every day, right? Like I have a balanced diet. So I don't really struggle with that as much. And then I don't go too far on the deficit. I just have, the 2 pounds a week deficit. And as I get closer to the end, I probably will have to go up and do like 1.5 pounds and then maybe a pound, so I'll have to kind of have a less extreme deficit the thinner I get. But I'm very, very pro slow and steady weight loss, if that makes any sense. So I'm not hungry for those reasons most of the time, because like I said, if I get hungry, I will just eat something if it's too much hunger. So anyways, as far as this, I don't care. I do not care. Like, I do not live for praise, but I do enjoy praise. I'll put it to you that way. So people comment on my channel and they're just like, oh my gosh, you're doing so amazing. I'm so happy for you, blah, blah, blah. That's so great. I like that. I have a very normal thing, but I've always been able to take compliments. I've always liked being complimented and things like that. I don't know. Like, some people really have an issue with it. I don't. So I can't relate to that aspect. And as far as like, oh, it can feel like they're commenting on how bad you looked before, blah, da, 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 da. I don't really care. Like, I don't really see it that way. But at the same time, like, I don't think about how I look. Like I said, I don't have that kind of ED mindset of like how I look is so important and whatever. Like, I try to explain that to you guys too, because it's like there are people who are attracted to you when you're bigger. There are people who are attracted to you when you've lost weight. Like, so it's like you don't really have to go there in your mind in that sense. That's at least been my experience. That's not everybody's experience. So it's like you don't have to. I don't think about it that deeply, and I don't suggest thinking about it that deeply of like, oh, I looked so bad before. It doesn't matter. It's like, just reject the premise, you know? It just doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, your health is what matters. That's really it. So, really always put health first. That's what I will say. So, I know I say that a lot, but it just needs to be said over and over again. And I will continue to say it over and over again.
If you're not done losing weight, even as their words feel like success and validation, it can also feel like the praise is too early. You have more to do.
Nah, I don't feel that way. That doesn't resonate with me.
7. You may look older. As you lose fat, the skin loosens, which makes your face and skin look older. Depending on your age and luck in genetics, your skin may tighten.
I would say depending too on how hypo your weight loss is making you, because certain diets are very hypothyroid inducing and others are less. So it's not just luck and genetics. It can also be if you're not monitoring hormone health whatsoever, then that can be a huge issue. So I would say that's another aspect that is often overlooked and never talked about. Whereas I take my hormone health incredibly seriously. So yeah.
Tighten up again, or it may.
But at the end of the day, aging occurs. You know, I have been healing my hypothyroidism and working on it and losing weight for years. You know, I've done weight loss for 2 years. Like, you're going to age in 2 years. I started working on my hypothyroidism in 2021. It's almost been, it'll be 4 years next year. You age in 4 years, so I think, I don't know, like if you lose weight like rapidly and like incredibly fast and you're just like burning everything off of you like as soon as possible, I do think that can age you, but it's probably in large part because your hormone health is becoming trashed because of what you're doing. Or if your diet is completely nutrient deficient, that will also age you. So, or if you're overtraining, like there's so many factors that can age you, but it would age you regardless of if you were losing weight or not. Like it still would age you. If you have a deficient diet, it will age you. If you have a overtraining, it will age you. If you're doing all this stuff, if you abuse your body, it will age faster. That's all.
Remain loose. Regular skincare routines and massage may help, but in the end, you may end up having to either live with a saggy skin or see a surgeon to tighten it up.
As far as the loose skin aspect, I do notice some loose skin at this time, but I also have so much further to go that I don't know where it will all end up. And so for me, I need to see where it ends up, if that makes sense. But at the end of the day, if it really is a huge issue, surgery is an option. And that might end up being the decision I make in the future. But I wouldn't even consider that until I am completely at goal weight. I need to see where I'm at. I'm going to make a lot of decisions. My goal is to be 17% body fat. Once I get there, then I'm going to reassess my future goals and what I'm going to do. I don't have any further weight loss aspirations at this moment past that point. If for some reason I want to keep going, then I will. If I feel that I need surgery or something, I would try to start looking into that probably around that time. But currently I'm 36.9%. I'm not even close. So technically I'm around halfway. So I have a long way to go. So I just don't think about it very much at this point. And I have no idea what my body will do, what my skin will do, what any of it will do, because I literally have no clue. My journey is always evolving. And so I'm just going to see what happens, basically. But I will keep you guys posted on it.
This includes a possible panona, commonly known as a panus or panicculus, a heavy flap of loose skin and fat that hangs down from your abdomen. Depending on how much weight you've lost and how much your skin bounces back, it may be a mere bulge across your abdomen, or it can hang down like a purse to the thigh, or in some severe cases to the knee. This can only be removed surgically, and typically insurance companies won't pay for a panniculectomy unless you're getting severe infections in that area. 8. You may not be shaped or look quite how you were before you gained weight, even at the same weight. I found an old picture of me at 18 at 170 pounds and compared it to me at 48, 180 pounds, and I look...
Yeah, but I think too, age is different. Age changes somebody. There's a huge difference between 18 and 48. That's a drastic difference. So I don't expect, really anything, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know. I understand what they're saying, but I think that it's important to keep a realism of a 30-year age gap. Your body is not going to be exactly the same for 30 years. It just isn't.
much leaner now, even though I'm 10 pounds heavier. It's fat to muscle ratio and simple maturity.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess they were saying it as a positive. But what I will say too is, like, I fit into my clothes in high school or whatever. I'm taller than I was in high school. It's kind of funny to think about it because, like, my one shirt, it's kind of short on me, but I'm taller than I was at 15, so it's just kind of dorky. But like I said, it's like, I don't know. I think this person honestly is too focused on their body. They're like kind of unhealthily focused on their body. I don't think it's good.
And 9. You can never quit. Maintenance can be as difficult as weight loss. Once all that extra weight is gone,
This one I don't agree with at all. I think this is completely false. What I will say is that I've done phases of maintenance during the weight loss process. Like, I've, maintained at certain aspects or maintained at certain times, and it's drastically easier to maintain than to lose. So I don't know if this person is just not remembering how difficult it is to lose, but it's a lot harder on a hormonal, physical level. It's a strain to lose weight. Maintenance is really easy. Like, I have times where I eat in maintenance and it's like a huge lift. It's so much easier. So I just definitely disagree with this across the board. Like I said, I could have different experiences because I really take care of my hormone health as I'm losing the weight, but I completely disagree with this.
if you ever return to your old eating habits, the weight will return. Whatever habits you developed for weight...
Okay, well, if you go back to binge eating, then obviously. But like I said, I don't struggle with the ED aspect anymore, thank God. I don't. So I don't care to do that again, ever again. I literally just... Because especially now, I get really nauseous. If I overeat or if I want to overeat or something, I will get nauseated. And I just... Because I've gone so long without binging, it's like my body is just not built for it anymore, and I just do not have the ED to push beyond that point like I initially did when I had it. You have to break your brain to do that, and my brain has recovered. So it's just not, I don't even think of going back. I never think about wanting to go back ever. But again, that could just be my experience. I rode that train almost to death. And so I just have a very different view of it, I guess. Because I don't care at all
weight
about
loss,
that.
use those and make them part of your lifetime routine. For me, that means
Well,
I'll
yeah.
be weighing and logging.
Obviously, I mean, I'm never going to go back to seed oil consumption, for example. That will never happen ever. I am done. I had enough seed oils for 10 lifetimes. I'm never going back. I've seen what they do, what they cause, what happens. Um, so I'm never doing it, and in that sense, I agree. So, but yeah, it's not at all difficult. They're not addictive or anything. They're not anything that I crave. I don't crave it ever. So it's really, really easy for me. And then because I had the ED and it was so severe, I'm not a foodie anymore. So I don't care that much about like a specific brand or something. Like I don't view food in terms of brands. I view food in terms of ingredients. And I get it. I'm not a foodie, right? There are a lot of people who are. That will not apply to everybody. And I don't have any judgment or anything. But I'm just not ever going to care about, oh, I really want this brand of chips, or I really want this brand of dessert, like a Little Debbie's or something. I don't care. You get what I'm saying? That's dead in my brain. So some things I think are just dead. And I guess it kind of saved me in a way. I don't know. I mean, I do not suggest doing what I did or getting as low as I got, but I guess I got some kind of compensation, for that because it was really bad. So, yeah, just certain mindsets I just don't think I'll ever have again because, like I said, I'm not a foodie anymore. That's over.
Eating my food for the
I was a foodie before my BEG got got to a moderate level. So like when it was really mild, like when I was probably in like early high school or middle school and that kind of time, I was more of a foodie then, but it's dead. Like especially after 2019 and like 2018 to 2020, those years is dead. That was my most severe time, and it's just like nah, it's over. So anyways, okay. As far as tracking calories and stuff, I don't know. I don't necessarily think you always have to. I think that people, you have to for a while at maintenance, and then you just kind of see. Like I know Michelle McDaniel, she doesn't really track calories every single day. I think that she does watch them for the most part, but she doesn't have to do it every day. You know what I'm saying? Like I think years upon years, it's like you just kind of get used to it, and you kind of get used to the amount of food that you're eating, and your body gets used to it. So that would be my opinion, I guess, because I've seen a lot of people not have to strictly count forever, you know. Now, if you had an ED or if it's this person, I feel like there are some psychological issues with this person, honestly, then yes, you would have to. Because if you always have a psychological drive to want to go back to doing that, then that could be an issue. Or if you're overly restricting, then that could be an issue. So it's like you got to work on the psychological aspect, and you have to try to develop the awareness of if there is that kind of an issue with you. So I would definitely suggest, as I told you guys, for some people, counseling and therapy and things like that. My mom is in counseling right now. She's working through her BED. It's really good to do that. I got my mom this like dot painting thing because I know that anxiety is such a part of BED, and she's started doing it as a hobby, and she really loves it. She loves like those dot things, and she's not eating as much because she has somewhere to put that anxiety, and she has somewhere to go. She has like a tangible sensory experience. A lot of people that have BED, they do only the emotional work, and they forget about like the sensory side. And for me, that kind of hobby that was sensory was knitting. So you got to find something. I also do gardening as well. Gardening really helped because that kind of anxiety that I have that led to the ED, I can channel the anxiety into like monitoring all the plants. And that helps me. So it's about finding what helps you as far as hobbies, And then obviously doing YouTube. I love doing YouTube. That's more of my expressive, extroverted type of hobby, or the hobby where I'm speaking. And that's really important. I also heavily rely on support from friends and stuff, and I talk to people a lot, as I can have a tendency to be too quiet as an introvert. So I make sure that I am talking a lot throughout the day because it helps me stay healthier mentally. And I try to get out of the house as much as I can and do things to not be too introverted or to stay in balance. So it's really about finding a balance in those senses. But this person, I don't know if they're doing any of that. And like I said, there seems to be some issues there. So that person would have to count, because, yeah, that's my opinion.
The rest of my life because I can't estimate calories and serving sizes. My brain doesn't go there. It wants to believe that piece of cake is only 100 calories. So my kitchen scale is my friend.
Okay. Yeah, then you may have some. I mean, I'm not talking to this person because I can't, obviously, but I would say consider that you may have some kind of hormonal issues, or you may have some psychological issues. Like there's something going on with this person in my mind. I don't think this person is having a completely normal experience. You guys can let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. I would love your feedback. You guys know I love to read your comments, and it goes into my research space in my brain. So definitely let me know what you guys think, okay? And it's fine if you don't agree with me. Like, it doesn't bother me. But these are just my perspectives that I'm offering to this perspective.
Great post of wisdom. The hair one was a pretty big shock to me. I wish more people talked about it. I freaked out a bit when I first started noticing my hair thinning. I thought it was male pattern baldness setting in early. I guess it could still be that, but I'm crossing my fingers that mine will start growing back once my weight has stabilized.
I appreciated the 4-month mark too, because that makes a lot of sense.
Explains why my hair has been falling out at a concerning rate. I thought it was my thyroid. Nope. Also, another thing I've noticed, my eyesight has changed. Who knew weight loss could impact your eyes? I just had to get new glasses.
Interesting. I wonder if that had to do with insulin resistance affecting vision. Interesting.
This happened to me. I lost a bunch of weight a few years ago. Put it back on.
My vision got clearer when I stopped having the seed oils. About 6 months in, I told you guys I had night blindness really bad when I first moved to Alabama, because it's so dark here, and because there's just not a lot of lights and stuff. And so I couldn't drive at night for like the first 6 months I lived here. But after getting rid of that, the seed oils and stuff, my night blindness went away. I started in like March, and by September it went away. And so I could see at night. And I think it either had to do with not having seed oils, or I was just getting drastically higher amounts of vitamin A. I don't know. But I was still eating candy every day. I was still having tons of carbs. Like, I wasn't fasting. I was eating a surplus of calories, or even, at the very least, maintenance. At the time, I had really trashed hormones. So yeah, a lot of people, they try to like offer certain explanations for that, but it's like, it doesn't work for me, because I was still eating candy every day, and like having a jug of juice and a bunch of potatoes and bacon, and I'd make the potatoes and the bacon grease. Like, I was eating very, very hyper palatable foods at the time. So yeah. And then I had a lot of cheese too. And I was eating a lot of calories because I had just, I was trying to fix my thyroid basically, and I was really hungry all the time. And yeah, it was around that time where my night blindness went away that I started to get less hungry, and my appetite went down, and I didn't gain weight anymore. So it's interesting, but I think weight loss in general, it does help insulin resistance, in my opinion, at least, because the fat is hormonally active as well, and people don't ever consider that. So when you lose the fat, you have less of that hormone aspect. And that's great. It can have positive effects, possibly on other hormones like insulin, which could affect vision. So super interesting stuff.
Oops. But when I went to get new glasses, my vision had improved ever so slightly. The doc said that lowered blood pressure reduces strain on the blood
Okay, that's
vessels, which
interesting.
resulted in slight better vision.
Wasn't true in my case. My blood pressure was actually going up at that time. So once again, I was monitoring my blood pressure and it was on an upward trend from, September till December. It was getting worse for a while and then it got better after, which I think it had to do with the seasonal aspect because you get more hypo towards that time of the year. That's, and then right in January, it started to go down. And by May, or I think it was May or March, it was in that time frame, my blood pressure was normal. And it was high. It was definitely high. It was high enough to be medicated. But I had a feeling it would come down, and it did. So I was right. I also was a lot more active at that time, and I think that helped. But again, hypothyroidism, man, it affects a lot of hormones, and it affects a lot of things. And so, yeah, people don't consider that aspect at all.
I'd totally forgotten about that until reading your comment. That's amazing. I ran to every available specialist to make sure that the bushels of hair in my brush were just that, telogen effluvium. The lost hair are growing back in now. They are about 2 inches long right now. I look like an electrocuted Wookiee. I've gotten 2 inches taller after only losing 150-ish pounds, from 5'9" to 5'8".
Only? That's a lot.
Congrats on only 150 pounds. That's amazing. But mega congrats on getting taller. Do you think you've always been 5'11" but had poor posture due to excess weight? I've been between 300 to 400 pounds overweight my entire life, so I think it was my spine being compressed. My lower back always hurt. It doesn't anymore. And I say only because I still have a long way to go. I understand. Regardless, you've done an amazing job. I'm really glad to hear your back doesn't hurt anymore. Keep up all the great work. I'm cheering for you. They need a cheerleader emoji. OMG, I am suffering from excessive hair fall as well. What can we do about it? Because I am going
It's true for me too.
to have to remain on a calorie restricted lifestyle for at least another year, and even after that, because I totally agree 1000% with all of the points given above. So I have literally just about 5 months back and started paying attention to my protein intake, i.e. significantly increasing it, and I have been taking a vitamin B and a biotin supplement as well as applying coconut oil to it at least an hour and a half before washing it. And even though I think that there is an improvement, my close ones are always on me, saying things like, your hair seems a less, and why is it so lanky or lifeless? Can anyone else please weigh in?
It might have to wait till maintenance before it gets better. Because I would often, in the winter, the past few years, I couldn't sustain a deficit. Like the past 2 years, I just couldn't for certain times. This winter, I could, like in January, I could, but in technically late fall, which is like December and November, I couldn't last year. It's gotten better year over year where I can handle more and more. I might not even have to stop this year, but I know between 22 and 23, I took like a solid 4 months where I wasn't counting basically, and I didn't do anything like that. I think I counted a bit in January, but most of November, December, February, and March, I didn't count. And so I tried in January and I couldn't sustain it, so I had to stop. And basically, my hair was getting better and all that, so I think that that's true, that it probably takes that 4 months, but then it got worse again. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, there's a price to it. I try to take it with grace, and it is what it is. It is a strain on the body. It is. People act like it isn't, but it is, which is why I had to be healthy enough to start losing in the first place. So I had to take a year and a half to recover my thyroid and actually like get some body comp change in, get some muscle on, get my hypo under control and all that stuff. so that I could start losing, and I was not hungry when I started counting. But anyways,
Tell me what I need to do. So there are a lot of things you can do, all of which can be difficult to do or follow through on. 1. Make sure you're eating enough calories. Restricting calories is one of the fastest ways to lose weight, but also one of the fastest ways to lose hair. Multiply your target weight in pounds by 10 to 12 to get your daily calorie intake. 2. The safest and healthiest rate of weight loss is only 1 to 2
that's
pounds
what
a
I
week.
do.
I know it sounds nuts, but we say this for many reasons, including hair loss.
I think this is a really good thing. You know, I've done the 1 to 2, and it's just so much better. I don't know how to describe it. I know it sounds so long and so horrible and whatever, but honestly, you want it to stay off. And typically, if you want to lose more than that, it's so restrictive that you're going to end up binging probably. So just be careful. Careful, you guys.
3. Protein. Protein, protein. For someone trying to lose weight, we tend to recommend about 30% of their daily caloric.
That's fair. 30% isn't like a super high amount of protein. I probably have around there. You know, I told you guys my macros a while ago, but it depends on the day. They kind of vary, but it tends to be, you know, definitely a major part of my day, but it's not the highest amount that I have of any macro because I'm not as satiated with protein. If I have a lot of protein, I get hungry still. It's like I'm hungry. And so I have to do what works for me in the sense of like I need to make sure I get enough carbs and fat because on a lot of diet attempts and throughout my BED, I would try to just eat protein or, you know, be very, very strict on just having protein or high amounts of protein. And I would always be really hungry and constantly thinking about carbs and fat all the time. Whereas now I just eat them and I eat it in balance and it's worked for me. So I always say, figure out what works for you and whatever can keep you in that deficit, and then just do what you need to do, basically.
Intake to be protein. Remember,
We can trust our bodies.
4 calories per gram of carbs and protein and 9 calories per gram of fat.
We can trust our bodies with the macros. I don't trust the body with calories, though, when you're like morbidly obese and all that. And also your body, even in a healthy, like if you're not hypo, basically, your body will naturally want to maintain. So calorie counting can be a really useful tool. So just keep that in mind too.
Completed my bachelor's in.
Because my friend Eric, he is, like I told you guys, he's trying to get abs and he's counting and he's losing 1.5 pounds a week, pretty much like clockwork, because he's very healthy. So he counts and he gets to that level, and it's very nice and very sustainable for him in that sense. And he still struggles with hunger occasionally because it's very hard. That last 15 pounds is really, really difficult for people to lose. I think the 2 most difficult phases of weight loss, in my opinion, would be super morbid obesity. It's very hard to lose weight during that stage. And the last 15 pounds, it's very hard. But it's because you have to work out a lot and you have to have, you know, it's just a lot. Like I see what Eric's going through. It's not horrible or unhealthy. It's just a lot of work. And I commend him for that. It's a lot of work. So, yeah. Anyways.
Kinesiology and have a good bit of experience prescribing exercise for individuals trying to lose significant amounts of weight. Edit. Spelling errors. kcal is in parentheses because a calorie, as we see on labels and such, is actually a kilocalorie. Same. So relieved to read this. Mine has always been thin, but it's gotten thinner. I am relieved to hear this is a common experience. I lost 100 pounds when I was 17, and my hair fell out like crazy. What's weird was how many people didn't believe me. My friend's mom cut hair for a living and told me it was normal even though I could pull out hundreds of hairs out by running my fingers through my hair. I feel like it didn't recover all the way, but that could be my imagination. That was 10 plus years ago, and I'm balding anyway now. My mom made me go to a doctor, and he was super supportive, ran a bunch of tests, and told me I was fine. I thought it was because I was doing Atkins, so I switched to a more sensible diet. Just last week, my hairdresser commented that my hair loss has stopped. I have been in maintenance for 8 months now. Last year, I had a period where it was pretty severe. Now I can see some patches of new hair that seem almost exactly 4 inches long. My hair grows about half an inch per
Interesting.
month. Beautiful post that I can relate to in a visceral way. I've experienced all these things, particularly the clothing part. I was not even in a clothes store, and I am still mourning my wardrobe. I currently have a bunch of crap I don't even really like. I hate it. Also, I'm still buying stupid amounts of underpants to try and find a pair of panties that I come in my size that fit like Lane Bryant's cotton hipsters. I just want a cotton lower-waisted panty without harsh elastic that cuts into my waist and that covers my whole butt. I don't know why this is impossible. Tried Victoria's Secret, tried Aerie, tried Target brands,
I don't have any
tried many
advice. I'm
other
sorry.
random ones. Congrats on your loss, and good luck with your temporary maintenance. You have spurred my first ever comment because I have this exact same issue. I've been wearing my LB hipsters for
Oh my
over a
gosh, you
decade
guys.
and have probably 40 plus pairs that I love to death, but I've lost around 100 pounds in the last year and had gone from a 20-22 pant down to a 10-12, and I still can't bring myself to get rid of them because nothing fits the same. The best replacement I found fit-wise are Jockey's hipsters, but I've only tried their microfiber so far, so I can't speak to their cotton one. Best of luck to you.
Wow. I didn't realize how attached people get to clothes. Um, like I said, it's just not my experience. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I guess I just don't care as much as other people. That's fine.
I'm in between size 8 and 10 in general, in most clothes I found, but I still have my set of 10-12s that I bought once I needed them, and wear them to sleep in despite the very droopy butt. I mentioned below that I also use a microfiber Jockeys for workout, but I like cotton for off days and for sleeping. I'm gonna try the cotton ones and hope. Good luck on your own search. Thank you very much. And welcome. Glad you're posting. I lurked for a long time and still don't of me. The
Let's see.
comments make both of us
I'm just going to read it. Sorry, I needed to skip past the underwear part. I was just not into it. I have a friend who recently lost a noticeable amount of weight, and when we got together with our friends, she would get comments
feel
like...
pretty crappy to be
okay.
honest. The real key
Oh, I missed it. Okay. She would get comments like, wow, you look so pretty. Oh, you've gotten so beautiful. Now I'm currently the size she was before she lost weight.
as she was before she lost weight, and people are saying this in front of me. The comments make both of us feel pretty crappy to be honest.
Yeah, that's a little harsh to be like, you look so pretty now. Yeah, that is ugly. Those are kind of shady comments. So that I'd be like, I don't know if I'd say anything, but it's probably not. Oh, I guess they're their friends. I don't know. Funky friends.
The real key, I find, is to listen for one of two subtexts. Either the I don't give a flying fuck subtext or the I'm glad you accomplished what you set out to do and I want to motivate you subtext. Generally, it'll be the second one for a variety of reasons. The oh you're so pretty is just socially easy to say and
Oh, you're so pretty is fine. Oh, you're so, or oh, you've gotten so pretty, or oh, you're pretty now. That's fugly. I'm sorry.
I'm glad you're accomplishing what you set out to do feels so much more robotic. And like the first subtext that I feel I need to clarify my support by adding questions on how it was done when I see it. I also think a big part is that folks who haven't been through it don't see how an honest, intended to be supportive compliment can seem backhanded. I
think that is backhanded.
think deep down we know this is the case, but sometimes when it's inadvertently pointing out our greatest insecurity, it can be hard to not take it the wrong way.
Interesting. Yeah, so I think that can be true, especially if you still struggle with ED stuff. It's hard. Like it'll be interesting when I go to, oops, I guess I didn't need to do all that. That was extra. It'll be interesting when I go to California and I see all my friends and stuff as I've lost weight. So that'll be kind of interesting. I'm not like upset if people make comments about my weight, but it's like if people do make comments about my weight, I could get anxious. If people don't make comments comments about my weight, I could be anxious. So I will definitely report to you guys how that is like. But it should be pretty interesting this August. And yeah, but like I said, I don't have the ED. So I'm going to have to just deal with whatever anxiety there is. So I don't know, you guys. We will find out how that goes. But I'm not like dreading it or anything. I really want to see my friends again. I know so many of my friends are going to be really happy for me and stuff. So it's nothing like that. But yeah, I will keep you guys posted on that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, bonus video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back next week. Unless if I decide to do a Jubilee over the weekend or something, but I might not. So don't hold your breath or anything. But I will be back for sure next week. I'm so glad to be doing better. And I'm really thankful to you guys for supporting me as I was struggling. And I couldn't hide the fact I was struggling, which is scarring, which I usually don't hide it anyways. But I want this to be my job. So it's like I have to keep some level of professionalism, and I couldn't. It got too bad. But luckily, it got better. So yay. Yay for health. Yay for taking care of our bodies. Yay. So I will see you guys again next week. Have a good weekend. Bye.